Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Trofeo Polydol final. Today, here I'm Gifiti, your host, and today with me we have Tuan. Hey, Tuan.
Hello.
We also have Mea as usual, but I don't think he is going to speak a lot. So maybe if you are interested, just to hear our voices and ignore he is here. And my PCM just crashed. What is fantastic as usual. I will need to restart the game. This is very classic. I love this
Rest
game.
in peace.
Every day I love this game more. Going to enter the room again. I hope they didn't start without me because otherwise I cannot see the game. Let me go in. Yeah, they started without me, I think. Yep. Perfect. I will go on MS stream because otherwise I don't know for what reason, but I was kicked out of the room.
Rest in peace. Here you see the sensational loading screens of Pro Cycling Manager.
Yeah, loading screen is brilliant. We all know that. I have to say that it didn't change for the last 10 years. So yeah.
It definitely did change though. I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
it looks a bit more
changed a
modern
bit.
than it used to.
You are actually right. It changed a bit. So, Tuan, your predictions, first of all. Who do you think will take the Trofeo dello Scalatore, the final?
Let's run through the participants first.
Of course, we have Gabi,
Yeah.
we have Ghosty, we have Hush, we have Shawn Michaels, we have Dennis, and we have Davi. So 2 Italians, 2 French, 1 German, and 1 Portuguese/British.
Okay. So I think the favorite would be Davi normally.
Yes. I can say to you what are the actual odds sponsored by Banque du Luxembourg, your trusting bank with PCM bets. I have done the odds to this specific tournament, and I have to say that Davi leads the odds with 1.75. 2 for Gabi, 2.35 for both Ghosty and Dennis, 2.90 to Hush, and 7 of odds to Shawn Michael.
Okay, that's quite in line with what I'm thinking for this final as well. Mea, Gifiti still isn't in, I think. Oh, he is in.
I mean.
Okay. Nice. And we see an early breakaway and 6 people dropping as well, of course, including our teams of the commentators and streamers here.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
I assume there is no one back there of significant importance.
So, in the breakaway, we have Hush with 2 riders, the 72 Mountain and the specialist in time trials. Then we have Gabi that takes Navada. Oh no, sorry, Hush has 3 guys. Sorry, he has also Valverde with the 75 Mountain. Gabi has the guy with 75 flat, so the let's see, the weakest guy on the team. And also Fineto, 72, and Julian Alfares, 75. So basically, it's almost the same team, with the difference that Hush has the guy with 67 Mountain, while Navadauskas is the guy with 66. So they are more or less equilibrated on the front. Then we have a big attack by Davi, taking Carapaz to the front. This is amazing. Carapaz is actually going to the front with Amador, that is 72 Mountain, and the 75 Mountain also, Kwiatkowski. But Carapaz is the 80 Mountain, so we have a big attack here, and we have more attacks on the back. We have Dennis attacking with Martin, Kruijswijk, and Bennett, and also the big dog attacking with 3 guys, and Ghosty summing up with 2 more. But no one has the 80 guy on the front besides David. What do you think the people will do in the peloton to react?
There has to be a chase here. Davi, of course, one of the best players here, and allowing him up the road with his best rider would certainly not go well for all these guys. So I'm expecting a big chase here, and we shall see how this is gonna go. Yeah.
We must refer that in this tournament, the important classification is the mountain classification. That is that is the one that will count in the end. So basically, the most important thing is to pass as leader in the most possible mountains in this day. And this is a final with 6 rounds. This today the first two, and then we have two more and two more. So we see Gabi losing some time with the 83 Mountain is attacking from the peloton, but in the front this moment Gabi and Hush look like the favorites to take this first mountain sprint.
Still
Davi is
5.5 kilometers to go, though, so plenty of time for Davi to make a move and close those final 30 seconds toward the front.
Certainly, yes. And also Dennis actually has now Dumoulin in a very good position to take points. He is just behind Davi, is in the same group. So we can see something. Yeah, Davi is actually accelerating a lot. And we have the first dead man of the day. Nelson Oliveira for Hirsch team just died. So yeah, he has no more strength to go on this stage. So we see now Dennis going after the front, and I think will be very interesting. But Hush attacks. Valverde is very strong move with Pedrero on the wheel. He goes for the first, and it's only 3 kilometers to go, and he tries to get that point for himself. While Gabi and Dennis and the big dog are just behind Ghosty also here. I don't see. Yeah, Davi felt a bit on the group, but he's going probably to recover something. Now it's George Bennett closing the gap on Hush, and he joins the front group alone. The big dog also with Seni and Kovili joining the front group, and Kwiatkowski tries to do the same, but he's a bit behind.
It's too little too late, I would say, and it is the big dog who pretty much out of nowhere flies up the last kilometers here up the mountain and takes the sprint ahead of George Bennett of who was that again with the Jumbo Riders?
With Dennis.
Dennis, yes.
So the big dog took first and third in the first intermediate sprint. Actually, a very good result. While the fourth place was taken by Kwiatkowski from Ineos, so Dave took some 8 points that are actually magnificent for his performance, and Movistar took fifth and sixth. The last 2 points went to Jumbo, that is Dennis, also.
Yeah, and I would assume that everyone is going to wait up for the peloton now, and we'll see a very slow pace headed into the next big climb, as there is quite a bit of a valley in front of it.
Certainly, yes. What do you think what do you think the big dog is actually playing here? Do you think he's playing for taking the first 2 or 3 mountains of the day and then dropping completely? Or do you think he's going to fight for more than that? Because
I think he's still reserved quite a lot. I don't think either of his two riders there at the front were his leader. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, so I think he's played it very well here, and the others might have a little more when it comes to like the final climb with helpers, but I don't think this would have cost him all too much.
Okay. Emea just sent me a table that explains me better the classification. Each stage classification gives 170, 50, and all the other points till 10th, while aggregate only goes on the end, but gives 50, 35, 25, 18, 13, and 10 at the end of the 6th stage. So it actually doesn't count every stage. I thought it was like that. Sorry for that. But yeah. And the intermediate sprint gives only 5 points to the winner. Each intermediate sprint. So if you pass first on intermediate sprint, you get 5 points. That's quite simple. Com is actually aggregate of all riders of the same team. That's very interesting. That's the I think that's the classification some guys here are playing. But remember, stage is more important, apparently. I didn't notice it. And who is dropped from the group? Let me take a look. We have Navadauska. We have one man from Gabi, one from Hush. Only them. All the others are in the main peloton. So now they have a small disadvantage, but I don't think it will matter at the end of the day. And as we start approaching Col du Glandon for the second mountain of the day. So yeah, do you think the odds are right, or do you think someone should be higher or lower in the odds?
I think they're pretty decent. Definitely. Yeah, so far, Big Dog actually maybe slightly outperforming his odds. Of course, way too early to say actually.
Yes. Uh, I have to say that I did the odds with lower values to Shawn Michaels only because clearly he's the least favorite guy on this group. I'm not saying he's not a good player, but probably I'm talking about leading after this game, after today. Leading after today is the odds thing. So I think probably Shawn Michaels could be second, could be third, but it's not very probable that he actually leads the way after this stage or these two stages.
Yeah, we have a lot of experience in this field of six people, and I don't think Sean himself would disagree with you. I think he knows he's probably the least favorite out of this bunch.
Yes, we have a very important. We have three world champions here, right? Or four world champions here, and we have undoubtedly a peloton full of superstars. And Shawn Michaels is clearly not. Or is clearly the underdog in this round, but we never know. He can surprise everyone and just win this final. And this system of punctuation that is not exactly the normal one could benefit him. We don't know. Let's see what happens. So, returning to the race, the big dog very strong with two guys in the front, Ben Fato and Kovili. So the guy with 77 sprint and the guy with 75 mountain, very strong. 1 minute away of Gabi right now. Gabi that has three guys on the attack: the 74 flat or 69 mountain, the 72 mountain, and the 75 mountain. And Dave is just behind, trying to catch him with the rest of the peloton.
I never feel like it's rewarding to attack on the flat, and especially with such a long climb as the Col du Glandon, I don't think it's going to help a lot. And well, I don't think we'll see a long solo year, as there will be plenty of people interested in maximum points here. Saving your hill guy for like that last, what is it, like 2 kilometers, which seemed quite steep. Could be
Mhm.
interesting for a sprint, and I think he's kind of wasting that opportunity here.
I see your point, but I also need to remember you that Kovili was actually already out of the peloton in the last climb, so he actually is probably with full bars. I cannot say the same, no, of course, about Benfato, but Kovili, I think he didn't spend anything in being there, in being 1 minute ahead of the group. But the point
No, no,
is,
no.
how long will Benfato be there? How long will and then drop Kovili completely alone? And that's the main question. I think depends on the group rhythm, because if they don't spend a lot, maybe it was a good move by Chown here. Otherwise, I don't know. Gavi is complaining that he is dead. I don't know why. Probably
Yeah,
Lol
Navadauskas will be
Navadauskas.
back.
Navadauskas is dead. Yeah, we
Yeah,
we knew it. He's alone. Now is
yeah.
Maestri from the Big Dog also dropping from the group. I think the Big Dog will soon be only with four guys for this stage because he has already won behind, and I would say that Benfato has not a long left, so probably he's going to die soon. So yeah, as we approach the first small downhill of the Col du Glandon, that this interesting mountain has two parts that are actually downhill. So yeah, this is the first one. We see more or less everyone with good collocation in the group. Dennis is a bit behind, tries to recover a bit, but the position is not perfect. But in the front, clearly Davi with Ben Swift and Carapaz and Kwiatkowski is trying to put some rhythm on this group. Do you think Davi has extra responsibilities? So, for assuming the leadership of this event, or what? Because of his reputation and his level, or do you think more or less everyone is at the same level and should walk at the same pace?
I think people should always be trying to trick Davi into working more than they will, and Davi should always be looking for opportunities for himself. And I think he's doing that right now. Instead of working at the peloton, he has now attacked with Swift and two guys on the wheel. So certainly not letting everyone rest on his wheel as he takes it up the climb and the reels and the big dog.
Yup, the acceleration was really fantastic by Dave. Now Ben Swift is completely out of energy, and Kwiatkowski leads now Carapaz to go after the mountain points. We also have the train of five guys from Ghosty here, and Dennis, also five guys in the front of the group. It's very interesting to see. Hush dropped a bit, is now re-entering the group with Eduardo Prades leading Max Soler and Valverde,
And
and Gabi just stopped the Grozu in the middle of the road.
I think this is a very important time to be in the peloton as it flattens out a little and will soon have a little bit of downhill as well. So if you have no significant advantage, you really want to be back there. So this attack by Dennis is maybe a bit weird,
And by
although
Davi,
Davi seems to be taking it serious as he is jumping up to it, really going for the points, I guess, there and not caring too much about energy spent.
yes, for sure they are going for the points. This is a special category. This gives a lot of points, and we see Davi with two guys. He's probably going to try to sum the maximum points he could with the two guys. George Bennett is very well on the wheel, and he probably can get at least second in this mountain, I would say,
Yeah,
because
of course.
the two guys in the front, one has no sprint. Let's see how our Bennett Energy is Covili from the big dog trying to come from behind to get the points. And now Dennis is probably going to get all the first place. Yes, Dennis gets first, Davi gets second and third, and the big dog gets fourth. Hush goes for fifth, and Ghosty for sixth, and Gabi and Hush for seventh, eighth, and ninth. So
I think this is a bit of inexperience showing through at the end of Big Dog as well. Quite a big gap behind him, and it seemed quite clear that he wasn't going to catch up with the group of three ahead of him. Could have taken it a little easier as they went over top of the mountain. Maybe try and push on here for 5 intermediate sprint points that are at the bottom, but
yes,
it doesn't seem to be.
yes, probably these five intermediate points are also a goal for Dave, that is on that group with two guys, while the big dog and Dennis are alone. But I would say that for 5 points, it's not worthy, like not a lot worthy, but yeah, sure, they are trying at least. And now Dennis attacks Dave. Dennis attacks David. There goes Bennett for the intermediate sprint alone. He took and he's probably going to win it, I would say, because he took the perfect opportunity in the flat parts of the downhill to attack.
Yeah, it's a very interesting one. We'll be using some energy to do this, but it might be worth the 5 points to him.
Yeah, this attack probably worth it, and Davi will get absolutely nothing from being there because only the first matters. Everything else
Really?
doesn't matter.
Okay, so no points for second and third. Yeah,
No point.
that really throws the spanner in the works here. Probably want to take it relatively easy, but the climb is coming up very soon as well, so there is no real well, disadvantage to pushing on a little as Davi.
Yes, Bennett will now wait for the group as expected, and we have a very interesting cut on the back. We have Movistar with Hush, with Valverde, Mas, and Marc Soler in the front, with Fernandez from Gabi, and the peloton is more or less 30 seconds behind. So they opened a bit of space here. I don't know what happened behind. I don't know if you saw it, but we have a small cut.
Yeah, something might have happened on the downhill there, and it is the Movistar Trident that is accompanied by a rider of Delco Marseille, and maybe trying to catch up, although it does look like they're just letting it drop back into the peloton here, and that will be the end of it for them.
Yeah, they slowed down apparently, but well done by Hush that probably saved some bars with Marc Soler and Enric Mas to get there. So it's probably a very good move. And in the peloton, we have nothing new besides Rowan Dennis, that is actually no longer in the peloton and is out for this stage. So we have 24 units on the peloton and 4 on the front. We actually saw George Bennett dropping. He probably thought that it was not a very good idea to be with with the front group, and probably staying with their leader was a better idea. I think that's the point of what Bennett is doing. Don't know.
Yeah, he
Probably.
might have been afraid that it would be David that would push at the front and he wouldn't be able to keep up anyway, and the other people behind would be tempted to pace as well, and then George Bennett would be caught in no man's land without any teammates around him.
Yeah, and I would like to remember my co-streamer Alessio Massetti, also known as EMEA, to please push because we are 40 minutes behind and probably we don't want to get out of control in the end of the stage. So yeah, back back into the front. Davi is really going strong. He is probably going to take some points
Only a few riders are
in
capable of
this
following the
mountain
very
climb.
fast pace
So
up front.
oh yeah, it's in line. It's true. Sorry, I didn't remember it was in line. It's true. No, I
Oh,
thought.
another split in the peloton though, although it has come back together already. A minute 30 up to the leading group now.
Who do you think it's more willing to attack today? Is is more has more strength or more will to show or more a bit?
I think everyone is playing quite conservatively besides Davi and the big dog here. Although the big dog mostly pushing it late on the climb, so also not riding too aggressively. Of course, had that attack before the start of the Col du Glandon, as we see that Carapaz is now isolated at the front for Davi.
Yeah, we can say that Kwiatkowski completely died. It was now he joins the group, but I doubt he will. No, he will stop. He will manage to get into the top because it's still 7.5 kilometers to go, and Carapaz goes alone. Is it too much to go alone for 7 kilometers? What do you think?
Yeah, I think the pressure from behind is really going to count here, as it is Gabi that is really making a push, and the big dog is trying to join him here as well.
Yeah, the big dog with Kovili that just fell from the front, Caraboni and Sana, while Gabi goes with Juliana Fares, Nakane, and Fernandez. So, yeah, and Kwiatkowski now is completely, I think, out of the stage. Yes, he has
And
no bars, and
even
Bernal
Bernal
goes
has to
alone.
do it alone.
Yeah, Bernal goes alone. He goes to the front. He tries to get into the group of the big dog and Gabi. The big dog that still has the three guys because Kovili was well saved in the front. So it's very good news for the big dog, while the others have only two. Carapaz, I think Carapaz is now more or less waiting for Bernal. Now Kovili is out. It was too long even for him. 3 kilometers to go. Ghost, he has two riders. Hush also two riders, and Dennis also two riders. No one has more than that. Push is actually the last one right now. I don't think he will sum a lot of points, but the groups are apparently merging a bit. We have some merge in the front.
Yeah,
Davi and the
Cara.
Big Dog. Davi and Big Dog form group one. Then we have Gabi with Ghosty, and then we have Dennis with Hush. Three small groups right now.
Yeah,
Zana,
and it is the helper of Big Dog that is dropping out, it seems, and the Carapace still trying to hang on, but Giovanni Carboni jumping over him just before the top of the climb, and we can see that Carapace has given it his all and has come quite a bit further than Zana of the Big Dog. So Davi certainly with some good energy management so far, already outperforming the Big Dog.
yeah, Davi has now two guys on the front, while the Big Dog has the second guy in the peloton. And Davi actually summed a lot of points once again. I have to take a look. Let me see what happened here. Yeah, Ineos got second and third, and the Big Dog failed by just a bit to get the fourth place. He actually got fifth because Ghosty stole the fourth place. He took the last moment with Vevaker to get that point.
So everyone
So
is down to their leader and their main helper now, I assume. And two of the main helpers, though, Dennis and Ghosties, are behind, and they will be trying to get back, which is going to use some extra energy, I would assume, even in this downhill.
yes, I would say that are definitely not very good news for either Ghosty or Dennis. They actually are probably in the worst situation right now. So Ghosty and Dennis leaders are alone in the group, while Hush and Gabi have the two riders in the main peloton. And there goes Gabi, and there goes the attack on the small flat to go into the front group. Gabi's in the front group. Hush is also in the front group. Everyone is together. Yes, but
Except,
the helpers of Ghosty and Dennis are out of the race, in my opinion. It will be very
yeah, they're
difficult
going
for
to
them.
really need to push. But you see the two people discussing in chat here, not entirely happy with each other's cooperation, I guess.
I guess so, because they are talking about drinking alcohol in the downhill, and I don't see the point. It's clearly not
Well,
a very common topic on cyclism, I would say. But yeah, sure. Never
I
drink,
would guess
kids.
that I would guess that Dennis is spamming the water bottle button so that he sees if Ghosty is actually cooperating.
We are streaming in Twitch of PCM Italia, right? I think. Let me take a look. Twitch PCM Italia. Let me just take a look if we have some comments or anything, because it would be if Emea gives me the link, I would be very. I probably can't because I don't know.
Well,
Let me
we
take a
have
look.
just started the call the Nav, and it is still a group of 10 with Ghosty and Dennis missing their main helper, and this will certainly hurt them. We have already seen that Davi is better energy wise than the big dog, so it seems like podium is the least he is going to achieve today.
We have some comments that I didn't read so far. We have a comment by Giordano asking who is doing the comment. So it's actually me, your man, the great Rifiti, and also Tuan is around, and we are the best commentator duo in the entire world of PCM. We can
Yeah, since Kenils is a solo commentator, that has a valid statement.
exactly. So we are the biggest duo in the moment. So please, if you want to sign us, go for it. We are very cheap. Uh, for a good meal, you can buy both of us. So yeah, sure, try it. And we go back to the stage as Hush, the big dog, and Gabe actually managed to maintain the front, while Dumoulin and Tia have rejoined the group, but probably they have a lot less bars than the others, I would say.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well. And we see that the groups merge back together again as there is still 6 kilometers to the top. And it is again Gabi that is going off the front with his riders.
I see Gabi with a lot of energy and a lot of courage today. I would not be surprised if he win the stage. He's probably the one that saved the better. That is actually very important in these ladder databases and kind of games. I didn't saw a lot of Gabi before in the front. I didn't saw Gabi dropping, so I think he's probably the one that preserved better the bars. And there goes Dumoulin, completely
Yeah,
off.
and Domestique of Ghosty as well flows the tier
Yes,
of the back as we're about to head to the
and
sprint. And
and
actually,
now
there is
Carapaz.
Carapaz overboard. Quite
Carapaz goes.
surprising. This time it is Zana that is outperforming Carapaz, so
Yes,
not
exactly.
all that telling.
Actually, Nakane also goes now, so Gabi has no domestic,
And
and
there goes
Mas also
Moss, and
there.
it is Zana that is holding on the longest here for the group. The question is, can he do anything in this sprint? I highly doubt it. It will probably be between the main man here as Zana indeed
Yeah.
goes off the front.
Unfortunately for the big dog, Zana could also not pass the sprint, but
Look,
there goes the big dog with Carboni. Roglic just behind, 800 meters. Carboni to go into the flag. He's going probably to win it. I think it will be for Carboni, and there goes Carboni. Carboni wins it.
yeah, in
Roglic
front
comes
of
second.
Dennis and Ghosty there.
Vervaeke,
And
yes.
now probably ease up by Carboni and quickly rejoin the group and hope that Zana joins as soon as possible.
Are you watching on my stream or stream on Femea?
Watching on Discord.
Okay. Sorry, because I moved too fast. I know. Carboni waiting a bit now for the group. I think. Yeah, is now on the group, and we have the group of 6, and 1 minute and 30 behind we have Zana.
With
Do you think
actually a
Zana can?
significant gap to the next group of helpers.
Yeah,
45 seconds.
40 seconds to Mas and Nakane, while Carapaz, Dumoulin, and the tier are probably out of the stage. Do you think Zana can still re-enter the group if there is like a small stop at the start of the Valmorel?
Yeah, I think everyone but the big dog should be pushing the pace at the bottom, but they might be a little afraid, in which case there is still an opportunity for Zana to come back.
I think
And actually, the big dog might just go up the first part of the climb quite easy, trying to let Zana catch up and then accelerate again.
I think the strategy here is quite clear. The guys that have more domestics back, so for example Ghosty, need to do something so everyone is the same. Because otherwise, if they let Zana come in, it could be a very good, very big difference. And there goes
there
Gabi.
we have the first attack.
And there goes Gabi. Gabi had it quite clear that he was not going to wait for the domestics, and there he goes. The others look more or less stable, trying to wait for their respective domestics. I don't see the point of Ghosty, for example, doing that, but I can respect that he decided not to attack, because attacking is spending a lot, and it's still 11 kilometers to go.
I still think it's a good decision by Gabi because you're not taking anyone on your wheel, and it really seems like no one is taking responsibility here. And you get pretty much 50 seconds, and well, now everyone is in the same boat as it is the big dog who, rather unsurprisingly, is pushing the pace. Now he has his domestique back and immediately starts closing the gap as it is already down to 25 seconds.
Yeah, and now it's Ghosty time. Ghosty closes the space, closes the gap, and he can go for it. He tries to go after Gabi, but the big dog is crucial here. The big dog has Zana here. Let's see if he can make the difference in the end, the presence of this domestic. We remember everyone else is 2 minutes behind, but we have Zana here. That is fundamental. It's amazing that Zana is still here and is still working.
Well, that was actually Zana. Rather surprising that he used the attack button there to try and get up to Gabi and not just use one pace, which personally I would have done, but I'm not that great at roads, so Whether that's actually advice to follow, we'll never know, because of course we don't have the greatest. It's not the easiest to test on PCM, and it is Davi, and well, it's basically everyone back together as they have called Gabi.
I have to say that basically
The riders are entering the last 5 kilometers of
we
the
are
stage.
no experts in road PCM. We know the players, we know the qualities. When you join us, we would be very pleased. So yeah, um, everyone back together. So 4 kilometers to go. Do you think it will be a sprint?
Yeah,
Do you think there will be differences, or do you think someone will win is isolated or with only one or 1 versus 1 or something?
I think we're going down to one of these typical PCM mountain sprints, although it is Hush that is accelerating with Marc Soler. Very interesting to see this. Maybe he is, well, confident in his abilities here, as he might have just a little more energy, and he gets a little gap to the rest of the guys.
We are still 1.5 kilometers to the finish line. Now everyone is doing a perfect persecution based on Dennis, and there goes the sprint, and I think the big dog will be the first to go for it. No, it's actually
And the
Ghosty.
final
Ghosty
sprint is
goes for
on.
the
Who's going to be the
Ghosty
first to the line
goes for
today?
it. Will he make it all the way to the line? Yes, he will. It is Bernal of Davi who comes in second place,
We're
just
waiting for
behind
the
him.
tail enders who
And
continue
unfortunately,
to
the attack
arrive.
by Hush does not pay off as he finishes safe.
the big dog is third, and Dennis fourth, while Gabi has to settle down for fifth. A bit of a surprise here. I'm done by full yellow, said Gabi, because this mountain has this specific thing that the last few meters are actually barely inclinated, are mostly we can say it's almost flat. So they were surprised by this lower exigence of these last few kilometers. So I think they thought it was going to be harder. At least
Yeah, and this is why I always like when I'm racing. This is why I always like pushing the pace quite high and just well push everyone to your limit, especially your own rider, so you don't have these kinds of things like Gabi here, who apparently still had yellow at the finish line.
I have to say that Latour already crossed here by some Davi riders. I have to say I'm not going to be last. Let's go. There are some guys that are stops.
Commentator beats competitor.
Of course. And I took with 38-minute disadvantage, and I'm going to defend it. Let's go. Good one, Latour. What a genius. Go for it. Yoo-hoo! Latour entered in the correct time. Not everyone. Dillier is now taking Genius up. Let's go. Let's go, guys. And I think the commentator Emea will be out. Yeah, he's out. Sorry, Emea. He sprinted
We've
me.
selected the following highlights for you.
Okay. We have then a big win by Ghosty, but the mountain classification, and this is very interesting, in this moment goes to the big dog or Dave. Let me take a look. Dave. Dave actually leads the mountain or the big dog. Wait, I need to count it all. The big dog actually leads it. He has a rider with 30, 50, 58, 64, 64 points for the big dog. And David is second with 27, with 19. Okay, I was kicked out of the room because they closed the room. We will see. We will see later. So we are going to stop the stream just a moment, and you all can come back in 2 minutes. It's a very important problem with our host. So see you in 2 or 3 minutes to the second stage. Goodbye.